Hi everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Oh my god, it's been so long since we done our makeup together. Now this is my updated makeup look and we're going to start from the ground up, even from doing the eyebrows onward, because I've been doing it a little differently now that I'm living in the desert and actually working at a brunch where I sweat profusely. Yes, so first things first, we're going to block our brows. I'm going to do my first layer with Rosé. This one is actually the original, the liquid one. I don't know if I'm even using this correctly. This is the way I've been using it, but it's been working. I actually got this tip from Chanel, who is the host at our drag brunch over at Senor Frogs. And she recommended doing this before doing the glue. She said, absolutely do the glue stick still, but use something a little stronger as your base. Like use some Rosé, is what she mentioned. And honestly, I stopped using this stuff because for the longest time, I felt like I was never using it right. Or I felt like I just didn't know how to use it. And now that I've been working with people that really go ham on makeup, I've just been asking questions and learning a little bit here and there. And my makeup has been getting a lot better, I must say. I've been improving just by opening my ears and listening. But now I just use a little spoolie and brush the comb through it and then scrub away any excess that builds up right here on the eyebrow. Because we need to use this because it's a medical adhesive, so it basically can survive through sweat. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with my eyebrows is one, I have oily skin, and two, I sweat a lot. So I've been using this as a way to create a barrier, and it's been keeping my makeup on because when I noticed when I first started at this brunch, honey, my eyebrows were fighting their way through just with glue stick. It wasn't enough. I needed something else. And while we wait for this stuff to dry up, make sure I press that down too, especially this area right here. This eyebrow part always wants to pop up. It's the most infuriating thing in the world. When I used to glue it down, it still will always fight its way through the glue. So I have to make sure I really scrub it down. All right, while we let that dry, let's color correct. Now my color correction has not changed one bit. I still use the Chi Chic Orange Citrus palette, this little miniature one. And I still just use whatever orange is there, honestly, just any orange that's available. So since I've cut through these two, we're gonna use this top one now. And I gotta rebuy this soon. And if you wanna save 15% off at Chi Chic Beauty, use my code Jaymes Mansfield and get some money off your order. I'm probably gonna do the same thing myself because honestly, I need to replenish this because you can see, she's seen better days. And that shattering is not the makeup's fault, that's JetBlue. Because I'm brave, and I actually check all my makeup in my check baggage. You know, I like to gamble, I like to play lottery, and I like to see what's gonna survive this time, you know? I really should start a poll with you guys before I leave and just say, okay, so which one do you think is gonna shatter? Will it be MAC, Kimchi, or Trixie? It's always the shimmer shades too, because those things are just so delicate, they just shatter immediately. You look at a shimmer shade, it's gonna shatter, all right? I've been using a new foundation. I like it. It's Juvia's Place, and this one is in shade Fez. The girls at my brunch recommended it. I tried it. I have to say, it's nice. I'm not mad at it. My only gripe is that it doesn't give you enough. I feel like I'm already running low on it, and I've only used this for maybe 5 faces. If they gave me a little more product, I might like it more. But I've been trying to switch over to something that's a little lighter for the rest of my face and just use the heavier stuff for stuff that needs really full coverage, like my mustache area and my eyebrows. But for everything else, I have pretty clear skin when it comes to everything else, so I could get away with using a liquid if I wanted to, which is something I actually learned from Kahana. She actually uses mixtures. She'll use liquid creams and all sorts of stuff to do her foundation, which I guess is maybe it's just me being old school brain, where just the drag queens I watched growing up, they always use just it has to be Krylon TV's paint stick, that's it. Or it has to be Max Factor pan stick. It can't be anything else for your foundation, that's the only foundation you can use. When honestly, you can mix and match as long as the colors are similar or very, very close to each other. You can just use specific stuff for specific parts of your face.
Who knew?
That's just me. I fall into routines so fast that I'm just you know what? It works. Until it doesn't. Until your circumstances change, you have to actually factor in nature and the elements, you know? But I might switch to a liquid foundation for the rest of my face. I'm shopping around for a different one, so if you have a recommendation, let me know. Because this one supposedly I thought was liquid, but it's more cream. It's definitely just a loose cream. Alright, these are almost a little ready for the glue stick. I think I made the mistake in the past of basically putting down so much Rosé before a layer was dried. This one you gotta wait a little bit. So I'll usually before I leave for the morning, I'll put my brows down first. I'll put my first layer on and then the Uber over to Treasure Island. That's when I am probably gonna start putting glue stick layers on, or when I get to brunch. But I make sure not to do it right away. I give it some time to sit and rest and really set. But we're almost there. Especially in these hotter climates, I'm trying to be more cautious when it comes to doing my makeup because I've noticed it really starts to break down when I rush it. Like when you rush the process, it starts to like fight back. Using good old Airspun Coty powder. That's this guy right here, a classic. I'm sure there's better products out there. It's just, this is the one that works for me. It's cheap, it's available almost everywhere. You know, like $13 gets you all this product. I have the MAC one, but I've been having some issues with it. Like, I've been using it for very specific parts of my face. I can't use it on my eyebrows, I learned. Like, my eye makeup does not like it when I use it for that, so I don't use it on my eye makeup whatsoever, just on the face. But this Airspun stuff, Old Faithful, works everywhere. Dermablend in medium beige. Gonna put down some foundation over the beard area, or the parts where like facial hair likes to stick through. This is just like my little extra coat to make sure I get that coverage I want. And buff that out so it matches, girl. I'll set this first and then we'll do our eyebrows. Let's see. Set it and we'll come back to it. Like, I basically work from like the bottom of my face upwards until my eyes. I used to start with foundation and just like do a whole like layer of it. But now I'm learning to like start taking breaks in between, you know? Give your face some time. It's okay to take your time with it. You don't have to throw it on all the time. This is ready for some glue stick now. Chanel told me basically use a layer of Prozade to basically block it out and make sure it's stuck down, and then use the glue stick to fill in the cracks. And normally I do like maybe 2 or 3 layers of Prozade, but it's just me today and I'm in my house, I'm in air conditioning, so I don't have to worry too much about like the eyebrow makeup really sweating up and coming through because we have air conditioning on in here. I'll be fine. The brunch is another story. Senor Frogs gets very freaking hot in there. And we're also right in front of like where the old pirate ship display used to be, where they had the pirate show, right? You know, the whole recreation of like a pirate battle back in olden times, the old maiden times. Yes. So the water there is still there. Like the ship is still there, all the water is still there, but the steam from the water like rises up to the balcony of Senor Frogs and into the restaurant. So by the time you get to the stage, you're feeling the steam heat. It's humid in there, it's hot. And I've had instances where just like stepping out on stage, I hit the heat and I'm like, oh boy.
I may die today.
Bear in mind, I love it. Like I love the job. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite brunches I've ever worked at, but I had to like basically take some precautions in order to make sure I don't like get too exhausted from the heat. All right, now I'm gonna let that set and do a couple more layers. So let's work on the rest of our face. I have switched contours. I used to use Lunar Beauty, like the big round circular contour palette, but I found that I don't have time to wait around for the mail for something new to come. Like I'm at the bottom of that one. I need a new one in the worst way. So actually I've been traveling a lot and stopping in at the airport, and I feel like this is the biggest motivation for me going back to this brand. I've returned to MAC Cosmetics. The biggest motivation to return to this brand is because it's inside the airport in Las Vegas and I can just walk right in and get the colors I need. That's the biggest motivation of it all. This one is NW46. This is my contour I use, brown. And I've been doing my contour a little differently. Instead of just like using a card and cutting it, I've been like basically going with this whole section of my cheekbone and contouring that. It's gonna look a bit deep at first because I'm going to blend it away. But I wanna create like a good shadow base there. But we're going with this section of the face basically to give it more of like a cut. And I got this from like looking at old movie photos of like Marlene Dietrich and Mae West and all these like great cheekboned women and how they did their face. Like it's very much like that. You can almost see with the lighting. It plays with the shadow to give it that darkness you want. To really like make sure the shadow falls where it's supposed to. I've been doing that with my face recently instead of just doing the atypical, you know, paint by numbers drag queen, put down the card and just have a hard cut in your cheek. I found myself, I don't like it anymore. I don't know if I've ever liked it, but I've been loving this, so I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad I found something that works for me. Because it is very old Hollywood, the way to do it this way. Or like 90s supermodels, they used to do their makeup like this too. Like emphasis on the pocket of the face. Do the jawline. And I also stopped highlighting here. I don't highlight there anymore. Because I feel like it just brings the jaw out more and make my jaw look more masculine, which is not what I want. Like I'm trying to soften it up. Like you only do that if you need it. And I feel like a lot of us fall in that like idea that you have to do this stuff in order to like achieve the drag face. You don't have to. Yeah, it looks a bit harsh because I have to blend it away still. But I'm gonna let it sit there because we're also just waiting for our eyebrows to dry so we can just start getting the rest of our face going. And I've learned just to buy these glue sticks in bulk because I go through them so fast. Also, one gripe I have with these is I buy them in bulk, right? Like I buy the big packs of them. 4 of them are already dried out. Like that is a problem. Like by the time I open the package and pull one out, Like the first one is always dried out. It's like, Elmer's, we gotta do better. I shouldn't have this. This lilac lavender color, it needs to be a nice deep purple when I open it up. It has to be something with like how long it probably sits on the shelf for, or something. Like by the time it makes it home to me, it's dried out. Now let's blend our cheeks. You see it starting to fade up a little more, blending up into the hairline. But I love this contour now. Like it's my favorite thing to do now. This is that part where I usually start my lips, so I'll probably start it now. My makeup routine has gone all out of whack. Like I'm doing everything differently in a different order now. Just because I have to. Like in order to make it work for the time frame I'm giving for brunch, like I always have to factor in like I have to leave earlier or else I'm gonna hit traffic. Like I have to get out of my house by exactly no later than 8 o'clock. If I can maybe get in the Uber at like 7:45, that's ideal. But as soon as 8 o'clock starts, that traffic starts and it is horrible trying to get down to the strip from where I live. So much so, when I went to brunch the other day, Chanel actually looked at me as I walked in at around 9 o'clock and she said, "You're late." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she says, "You get here at 8:35 every single time you work here." You're late. And it's because I left later that day thinking it would be alright, not knowing like I hit traffic so severely and I was so behind on my makeup routine that I had to rush through my makeup. And let me tell you, the drag gods smiled on me that day because I got that makeup done in a lovely hour and 25 minutes. The bottom lip stays the same. The bow, I'm trying harder to angle it more so it's more angled like that. Like triangular. Because I feel like it creates a better shape for lip syncing. Not so much a point at the top, more of like a flat top. Like this. And then angling it down. Before I just do like a big round bow and not pay much attention to the shape at all. But this gives it a nice little like angle, like a triangular. Almost like Midsummer where she burns her boyfriend alive in the bear suit. It's very like that, you know? There's the bear. And there's the house. And there's, you know, her. What a good movie. It's grown on me. I've opened my eyes to A24, or as I call the multiverse of Mia. There's a lot of Mia Goth in that universe. Don't judge. It's not a Stanley Cup. I haven't gotten on the Stanley train yet, but I have been like obsessed with tumblers. I've become a tumbler girly. Yes, not that kind of tumbler, but these kind of tumblers, like the steel ones. I don't know what it is. It's convenient for me when I'm doing these videos. I need something that I can just handle and grip. I did low-key get Ernie a Stanley Cup because he asked for a tumbler after drinking water out of mine. It was still cold, so I got him a Stanley Cup. So we're slowly turning him into a Stanley Cup girl. I want him to get to that point where like he's got all the accessories on it, you know, like the little clip to hold your wallet, your keys, your iPhone, the phone bank. I saw someone respond back to that. It's like, girl, just get a purse. I want him to start making the videos like
how I get ready with my Stanley in the morning.
It'll happen. It could happen. Now, my blush is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism Blush. I still use this because they send it to me for free. The way to make it into my makeup bag is to send me it. That's usually how it goes. So I go into this girl and a little bit of that girl. Mostly this girl now, because I don't like it to be too strong, as you already know. I'm not really big on blush. Circular, work it up. Just to add color, but not too much, because I find it kind of strips makeup away from the face if I do too much. Pat it on. Like little angel foots just patting on your cheeks. And it's probably going to get washed out anyway because I still have to highlight my cheeks. But, again, that's all the color I want in my cheeks. I don't like to be overly blushed. I do not know why, it's just not my thing. I don't want to look like I'm starring in White Christmas, okay? Like, I don't need the rosy cheeks. I'm good. Alrighty, let's do our nostrils. Why not? While we wait. So if I don't do it now, I'll forget to do it, and then I'll watch the video back and look at my face. It's like, who even is that person? Like, she doesn't even have the same nose. It must be a deep fake. That is not Jaymes Mansfield. Using Chi Chic. This is the Moist Concealer by Chi Chic Beauty. I'm going to use a little bit of that and dab it on my cheek. And then when we get to it, we'll also dab it in the center here, but we're just going to skip ahead and do this. Using a Booty Blender. There we go. Really bring out that face. Don't be afraid to take some and put it on the other side too if it's too strong on one side. You know, share the love. Alright, start swooping around on the edge so that it doesn't create a hard line in your contour. You want it to like shadow out. That way it looks a little more natural. Now, let's do our setting powder, just to set up the first layer, and then we're going to go over with another one. Alright, so now another MAC. I got this one from the airport as well. This is NC10. It was the lightest one they had. I actually want to get like the frosty white one, but this is the lightest one the airport had. Let's put that in here so I can add highlight to the face. On the mouth. I have to say, like, I don't know why I stopped using MAC. I actually really like it. Maybe it's just like a nostalgia thing, like I reached for it again because it was of convenience. And I actually really like it. The only inconvenient thing about the airport location is that they're never open beyond 5 p.m. So like if I land back into town, I can never just go shopping again. I have to make sure it happens in the morning. But no, the products are strong and they last a long time, I gotta say, like, and they stay on the brush for a while. Like the contour brush that I've been using, I could just use that and do my forehead with whatever product is left over. And it'd be fine. Like, it's great. Good products. Old Faithful. Alright, I think this is ready for some makeup, so let's do some makeup. Alright, gonna use the Derma Blend. We're not gonna use the Juvia's Place for this, because I need something strong. So, gonna dig into that. Pat it on. And would you look at that? She is flat on the head, honey. Also, I've noticed with this, it's pat and not rub. Because when I rub it, it starts to pull the product up. I only rub when I'm not by the eyebrows. Also, I learned from Deja, from like working with Deja Sky, if you have an itch on your face, use more makeup. Don't rub it. Don't tap it. Like if your nose itches, don't tap it. Use a makeup brush, a clean makeup brush, and blend it. But do not tap it. Don't dab it, or you'll pull makeup up. I'm going to use Player One from her new Gamer Girl collection. We're going to set that on the palette, like so. And I'm going to use my Beauty Blender and just basically tap that on my face to create a base. So that way the blues pop a little more. Mostly sticking around here on the eyelid and a little bit above it, so that when I tail it out, it really pops more. I'm gonna leave that alone for a little bit so I can set. But no, this is one of those like classic makeup guru things that like I, for some reason, never got into. And I don't know why. Like doing a primer on your lid before you put shadows down to make it pop more. I always just put the color straight on and then wondered why my colors looked washed out. Or like why I only thought that like browns and reds and oranges look good on me. It's because those are the ones that are gonna pop no matter what. They're always gonna look good. Like a black cut crease is always gonna look good. Let that dry a little bit. Alright, let's do our lips while we wait. So let's go with more reds, combine it with other colors. Somebody asked me in the chat a while back on a live stream why I don't use a dark lip liner. This is the darkest I kind of go, because like again, I don't like them to be too dark, because if they are, it starts to look a little mustachy on me. Like I get a John Waters effect, which is not the desired effect you want in a drag look. Unless you are doing a John Waters inspired show. But shocking to believe, I'm not. I'm usually not, so I like to not have a mustache. You know, a pencil mustache is not my thing. It's not the vibe for drag, so I don't do it. So that's why I don't use dark lip liners. Plus, I don't use the liner sticks because they get really crumbly on me. Like, the pencils don't work for me. I have to use eyeshadow. I also feel like I get more control that way. So we're gonna go in with red. This is Feel So Grand by MAC, their liquid lipstick. Got it at the airport. I think this is the like gateway drug for me. Like started me shopping there again. But I'm obsessed. Like I've fully I've reconverted, okay? I've gone so far as to jump on the tram in the airport to go to the other terminal so I could shop at MAC if I have the time. Like I will do it if I need something. This lip got a little thicker than I wanted to, but we can fix that later. Alright, I'm gonna clean it up. So let's see. I'm gonna use a little bit of my Chi Chic concealer. I use a brush. A little bit of product goes a long way with this. It's gonna be hard, but try and like go one direction with it. Don't go back and forth, because that's how you get it to blend together and make a mess on your face with red. Go one direction if you can. Don't be like Zayn. Stay with one direction, okay? And that also highlights underneath the mouth, so when you lip sync, it makes your mouth stand out more. You can also do that with a little bit of the upper corners of the mouth too. So it makes the like light pop there and really focus there. This is an old school Hollywood technique. Marlena Dietrich used to do this. Basically to make the lips stand out more and look more defined if you didn't have that much for lips. Because it's before lip filler, you know? And if you're a girly that can't afford lip filler like most drag queens are, it's good to make these cheats and find your workarounds to make your lips look a lot more full. Or if you have full lips, it makes them look even bigger. I'm gonna start with Nighttime Realness, and we're gonna use Weather Girl and a little bit of Channel Surfer. But I'm gonna pack my brush up first. So, get a brush and really pack her up. We're gonna dip in the Weather Girl and then dip in the Channel Surfer after this first one. So, using whatever you can find that has a flat surface, start sweeping it on. Angle your head so that the fallout doesn't fall on your cheek and fuck up all of the makeup you did there. But I'm basically like lightly flicking it when I get to this part so that it shadows out a bit more so it's not so harsh and severe. This is the only part of my face I get really like harsh with the cut on because I feel like it looks good. That's the kind of only cut I really keep around anymore. And the blue is really popping because I put that white base down. That's why we do it. Like for years I would do blue eyeshadow and wonder why it looks so murky on my face and just thought I just was one of those people that couldn't wear it. It's because I wasn't using a base properly. Pack up Channel Surfer, that lighter one. Go back in, put it in the pocket to create dimension, and slowly drag it around. Repeat that process to the other side. Getting another brush, one of these guys, and a little bit of cut the camera, so the tiniest bit. And it's gonna create the shadow in the eye, right here. And this one I slowly move about here, because I'm gonna blend it out and cut the crease with it. And if you're afraid it covered up all that blue, you could always put more blue on top. Because we're gonna blend this out anyway. Don't be afraid of putting some color on your eyes, honey. A little old school looking too. Kind of love that. The Alexis Vogel, Kevin Kwan kind of makeup. You gotta use your blue. You can always just powder over it and blend it to get the blue back. Little circular blends. I think a lot of that's gonna get covered up with your cut crease anyway, but you want some shadow there just because it makes it look more like an eye. Look more defined, you know? I like a crease that looks really defined and arched out. And like, you don't gotta do this shape. You can do whatever shape works for your face, honestly. You can do this with any kind of drag makeup. I kind of go with my natural features and just exaggerate a little bit more off of that. You don't have to. Ain't no right or wrong way. But I've been angling it like this now because I feel like it makes my eyes open up a lot more when they're more angled. Because I've been doing my eye makeup flat for so many years. It kind of dulls the face when you do it that way, or at least for me it does. So I've been trying to like add and incorporate more angles into the eye makeup, just to give it a little bit more character. Plus you look at like old Hollywood and stuff, like they're constantly doing stuff like that. Like very few women ever did just like plain basic makeup. It was always to exaggerate the features they had and to bring them out more if they did have them that were very appealing to the camera. They did everything in their power to make them stand out more. Like with Marlena Dietrich, if she had like hooded eyes, she really brought out that crease to make it look even more hooded and even more like otherworldly. Because it was movies after all. Show business. All right, let's find a cleanish brush, as clean as we can get, so that we can blend out the edges more. I think she's looking really pretty. Now, I've been streaming a lot more recently, and I honestly love it so much. Like, it's been really igniting like a lot of funness back in my life again. It got me excited about making videos and stuff, just 'cause like it's so fun to like interact with people in real time. Like playing video games and doing my makeup and styling hair. Like doing it live has been such a game changer for me. I've been doing it this YouTube channel for Wig Wednesday, which some of you may have caught. And then Thursdays we do Thrilling Thursdays where we play horror video games on my secondary channel, Jaymes Mansfield 2. And I also like stream on Twitch as well. So if you're a Twitch girly, you can watch it there. However you like to watch it, chances are I probably gotta wait for you to do it. You know, you've got options. I'm always thinking of you. But I've been loving it. And Twitch has been such a fun, welcoming little community. Like, there's some real fun weirdos over there that I've been just enjoying getting to know more and more. We're still using the Trixie Cosmetics Player 1 to cut the crease. Again, this has like been a hero product for me. I've been using it so much. I didn't think I would, and I still actually dove into it and tried it out, and I've fallen in love with it. It's been like my new go-to shade for like cutting my creases and stuff. And yeah, like it's so hard for me to find one because I always feel like no matter what, it always scrapes up makeup. Every time I have a product. This one's got a nice little lightness to it, an airiness to it where it really just glides on. And I could build it up potent if I want. Whereas the other ones, they're really streaky. Or like I said, they pull up makeup and I feel like I'm going back and forth just to get something workable into it. Or to correct what it messed up. We'll let that sit around for a little bit. Let's put our eyebrows on. The eyebrows are relatively the same. I haven't changed a lot of the routine. Depends what I'm dipping into. If I'm running low on something, I'd try a different brown. The brown I will be using today is from the Facelift palette, and the color is Mug. Gorge. Okay, I love me a big old drag brow. Let's do this side now. I've noticed, and call me crazy, it's my little conspiracy theory, the bigger I've been getting with my makeup, I've noticed the smaller other girls' makeup has gotten. Like, pretty soon they're going to revert back to my original face in season 9, where it's just, you know, some baby wispy lashes from the Dollar Tree and, like, a little bit of eyeliner and a nude lip. You know the one. I went on a YouTube with that face and proudly said, "Here I am, world." I held up those little baby lashes, so proud of myself. Like, look what I found. Girl, I thought I was slaying everyone with those little lashes. I felt like Amber in Drop Dead Gorgeous when she's at the Nationals and she holds up her Vaseline. Like, I got my little secrets too. Going back in with that Chi Chic concealer and just make sure we make these brows ombre. I might have used a little bit too much, so I'll put some right here, any excess, and just ombre out these brows. And try not to go too much into your eye makeup, otherwise you're gonna mess it up. Especially if you just got done doing a crease. Just be a little cautious of that. Just enough to ombre out the tips of the brows. Those look good, okay. Let's do our eyeliner. Let's go back with that. So, I'm gonna start with this as my base, the Maybelline Precise. Basically carve out where I wanna go, map it all out. Alright, we're gonna go in with the hot liner, the black one, and fill that in. Fill in those gaps. I don't know why I do sound effects like, whoosh, like it's a sword or something. Puts me back in like the time when I used to play Dynasty Warriors on PlayStation 2. Just swapping through those characters to get to the girls that had the fans. Or the baddie with the flute, I loved her too. Yeah, the girls with the fans and the girl with the flute were always my go-to for melee. And I think the girls with the fans were sisters. So I remember me and Ernie used to actually play that one on like 2-player mode for the story mode. We both just played both the sisters. Yes, everything. Gorgeous, beautiful, dainty, obsession. I'm gonna go in with a smaller little pencil brush. Probably something a little less severe, maybe signing off. Just to add a little more cut to the crease, a little more shadow, a little more depth. But nothing that's too invasive, just so I can follow along here. Give it a little more dimension, and then blend it out. Yes. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, for the under eyes, I still have not found a white liner that I'm pleased with. I'm using NYX today, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So, we're gonna go through the little pencil sharpener and just do our waterline. I'm still trying to find one that I like. I've tried a few now, and none have really left me with a desired result that I want. Oh, before I forget, blend those out. Do our waterline. Try not to stab yourself in the eye. I feel like that's a technique you should work on. By you, I mean me. Oh, okay, I hate it so much, but here we are. We're here, we finished, we're good. Let's move on. All right, I'm gonna use Feline by MAC, which sharpen her up. I since switched back to a pencil, but preferably one I can blend down. And this is like, again, I think it's just because it was so close to me, and I remember using it back in the day and using it wrong. So we're using Feline by MAC. Like a lot of these products, I stopped using them, not by any fault of the product, but through fault of my own. Because I just did not know what the fuck I was doing. But I remember I punished this Feline pencil all the way down to the nub. And then once it was done, I swept out for like some cheap thing I found at Walgreens or something. Like, I would use them down because again, like this was expensive. It was like $20-something. And mind you, I'm from the mall culture where back in the day, if you were like working in makeup, you aspired to work at MAC because you could get that discount. You wanted the employee discount. I took the route of quiet dignity. I worked at Sephora, and with the ambitions of hopefully working my way towards a MAC counter. Although I must say, at Sephora, I don't know how they hired me, because I didn't know what I was doing. But I was at least more advanced in like what makeup products were compared to the other people they did hire. So I had that over my coworkers. I had one supervisor, when it came to doing a client like makeup consultation, she would like tremble in fear because like she did not know how mascara worked. She only wore BB cream, like little tinted moisturizer, and that was it. And maybe like the smallest wisps of mascara. But like she did not know how any other product worked. She didn't know how to line lips. So like she would tremble and try and find me. Like heaven forbid I'd be on lunch when someone wanted like a consultation. She would like be ringing my phone up like, James, how much longer do you have? And again, like, I don't know why she is so trusting in my hands because I had girls looking the fool leaving that counter after I got my hands on their face. But I was also in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So again, a lot of these women, they just want any kind of pointer. So like I'm sitting here telling them, overline your lips if you want to. Overline them, it's fine. Put some tape down and then make a huge, bold line of eyeliner. Get fun with it. Have some fun with your makeup. Life is short, be daring. Thinking back about it now, I still stand by that. Life is short, be daring. That's some pretty solid advice. Now, just gotta do my nose and we should be good to go. So, a little bit of my MAC. Tiniest little baby bit. Alright, my camera's overheating, so I'm going to take a break for a second. Be right back.
Welcome back. This is the final result. And oh my god, I have to say, I love the look I have now. Like, I really love the contour and everything. It took me a while to figure out contouring and how I really like it. I feel like I've been doing it like a certain way for years because that's the way I was taught to do it. But I never actually remember really liking it. If that makes any sense. Like, I just did it because it's part of the routine and it's what you did. But I've been having a lot more fun experimenting with my makeup and just, like, breaking some of my own rules and trying out different things, which I highly recommend all of you try out. Try different things. Always push yourself to do something different with your mug. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you liked, you know, my new updated makeup routine. And I hope you enjoyed, you know, risk-taking because, honestly, life is for taking risks. You know, go bungee jumping. Yeah. Jump out of a helicopter. Do something fun with your life, okay? Just don't credit me for it or blame me for it if something happens. I was just giving you a little encouraging advice. You didn't have to take it. If you like my wig, this is the Is It Blonde? Available at Jaymes Mansfield Beauty. She is one of our premium wigs. This is her all teased out. I actually styled her on a live stream. So be sure and check that out. Wig Wednesdays, every Wednesday where I style a wig, as well as Thrilling Thursdays if you like video games on Jaymes Mansfield 2, also streaming on Twitch.
And I'd like to give a thank you to my wiglets, Jacob, Ernie, Duke, Just BKZ, Vera, myself, Sponge King, Hairface, Steve, So Many Kitties, Jake, JT, Christine, Curtis, Miss Mosey D, Romeo and Juliet, Selena, Rose, Dark Curre, Catalina, Miss Lansing, Maureen DeLuca, Veronica, Molly, Carl, Dolores, Larissa, Martha, Louise, Harmon, Astro, V-Rex, Matthew, Roger, Tyler, Brian, David, Margarita, Adam, Samuel, Michael, Beck, Daniel, Chrissy, Akoni, Doug, Eliza, and Jason. Thank you all so much for being wiglets.
Now I have got to go. I have to film a video after this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. Now hit the outro.
Click here and see my RuPaul collection. Or see iconic brunettes, Natalie Wood. Come on, click it, you know you want to. If you don't click it, you're super lame. Now click it.
This pool is nice. Do you think I need buccal fat removal? Quentin Tarantino wanted to see my feet. I was Stifler's mom. They call me a MILF.